show federal government budgets $470 billion to address one of the ASUU's demands, just as the appeal court orders ASUU to resume work immediately. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. I greet you, Jide. Good evening to you.
Citizen Jones.
And we also
not wearing your Niger Delta cap today.
For once, I wanted to be from.
From where?
From my part of the country. This is CBBO.
Okay.
Plus a tinge of Yoruba. All right, we also have the proud Calabari girl, Abienabo Dixon, is here. I greet you.
Good evening, citizen.
So, you see, the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, we go on. You know, air travel in the country is impacting adversely as a result of hyperinflation, with the result that airfares have jumped up by 77%. Delta and Adamawa states passengers are hardest hit as we speak. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, insists that a single-way journey that increased from 28,235 naira jumped to 65,042, and this approximates to 77% increase. The NBS stated that on a state profile analysis in August this year, Delta State had the highest airfares for specified routes, single journey and all that, followed by Adamawa with Jigawa, Nasarawa, Oshun, Niger, and Gombe states in that order. Yes, air travel is sweet, but the cost is heavy.
No, it's killing. It's killing.
Yeah.
So when I was reading that story, I saw clearly that it's either the stories, I mean, the survey was done too early in the month, or the NBS was misled, because I've had cause to send people to Abuja, send people to Taraba and a few places to do current affairs stories and all that. Yeah. And I can tell you that it's way higher than what they are talking about.
Yeah.
For example,
so the percentage is
September 26, Max Air, 97,000. In fact, they warned me that we had 4 seats left. And you know what that means?
One way.
Yes, one way, 97,000. Air Peace at 8 p.m. of that day, September 26, was 82,000. Ibom Air, 101,000. You know? And United, 84,000. Green Africa, 77,000. So a one-way trip is, from what you have seen, is way higher than the 70-something thousand that they are telling us is the listing. Then yesterday, my people were coming, Sarah Yeku and the crew were coming from Abuja to Lagos. Air Peace, 5 p.m. was 103,000. One way, that's still one way, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 p.m., 73,000. The Max Air, 5 p.m., 78,000. Arik 2, 78,000. So, and you wait, sometimes you can wait in the airport for 6-7 hours. They won't even tell you what's going on.
Which is, it adds to your trauma at the airport.
Yes, then you have to now spend more. You know, in Abuja, there are some airports in Nigeria, the VIP lounge, you just sit there, you know, you buy what you want to buy. But in Abuja, they told me to even sit there alone, that I'm to pay 3,000. And I'm like, what's going on? Then after the 3,000, you don't buy the expensive donuts and other things that they sell.
But you have a choice.
No, but where do I go? That day, I got to the airport at 6 p.m. I was coming from Sokoto, but we didn't leave until around 1 a.m. So there's no way that you won't be hungry. So
I understand.
expensive airport food that you don't want to buy, you will eventually be forced to buy it. So at the end of the day, what you are spending will be even way higher than what they are talking about.
And you're wondering, well, if they think about those of us in the Niger Delta, they say now Delta State and Adamawa people, they travel. But you are looking at the NBS and the survey, 77% increase. But what it's telling us tells me the 77% is an exaggeration.
They don't.
I may be wrong.
Yeah, you're very. You see, from what Bajide said, it is very true. Because even from the information given here, if you multiply the 28,236 naira that are increased to 65,042 naira, it is above 100%.
Yes, yes.
So it's not even 77%. It is way above 100%. And the question is, how do people move? Because the roads are dangerous to travel. So everyone wants to travel by air.
Yeah.
Yesterday, someone at the airport started putting calls through people for them to send her money, because when she got to the airport, she was traveling from Lagos to Abuja. She met what she didn't bargain for.
Wow.
So that is how bad it is.
And you're wondering what the problem is.
Now accounts for more than 70% of the operational cost of the airlines. That's because since Putin began that senseless war in Ukraine, the price of aviation fuel and even kerosene and diesel. Look at diesel that people are buying at around 225 naira per liter sometime in March this year. It's gone up to 750, sometimes 800, depending on where you are buying from. So this is the thing, is that war. That war has pushed many countries in our world to the brink of a recession. It has led to inflation in many countries, especially food inflation, because until now, I didn't even know that Ukraine was such a big producer of wheat. But
affects bread,
yes,
for instance.
Yes, so across the world, it's a problem. It's a problem. So that war, some Nigerians were happy when the war started. But what is there to be happy about? Your country is not benefiting in any way from it, because we are not, if we were exporting refined product, for example, this is the time to make money. But we used to do that as a country. Now, even our oil output, our quota, we can't meet our quota. So countries that are able to meet their quota, they are smiling to the bank.
I wonder if you heard the news that released by the NNPC the other day, that a pipe that leads to the high sea was discovered.
Export terminal, fake, illegal export terminal.
How many years after? So you are wondering who is saying what?
Some of them are not telling us the truth. And also, looking at the issues with aircraft and the ticket fares and all, you look at when these are mechanical issues. When an aircraft gets grounded, usually, from what I was able to gather from someone, they used to have the parts in stock, but lately, because of the high cost, they don't. So you can imagine you're supposed to board a flight for probably maybe 4 p.m. and there's a mechanical fault. How do you do it? Because they can't quickly attend to
it.
Yes.
But the most excruciating angle to it is you are there for long minutes and no information is coming through. And nobody thinks he or she owes you anything, any explanation.
No.
But is that us?
The pilot will then tell you, we sincerely apologize for the delay of this service. It was due to operational.
As if you have a choice
of
not listening.
By that time, they've done the head count, everybody's ready to leave. That's when they will tell you that they apologize. People will just sneer at that apology because they know that the next day, the same thing will still happen. Even Sarah and Co. that came back from Abuja, I got, because I was the one who bought the ticket for them, I got a mail that, sorry, this flight has been moved. So they had to move it. And they got here very late. Got here very late. So there are times you get back to Lagos, you can't even go home. You have to sleep in an hotel close to the airport, because how do you come down at 1 a.m. and want to take the risk of going home? Somebody even was cracking a joke. He said, you've turned all of us to witches, because it's witches who fly at night.
It's even better for someone who has extra cash. What if you don't have any money?
Yeah, yeah. Even about, Air Nigeria is a matter of weeks away, and we think we say the Ethiopians are the choice partner,
co-investor.
The co-investor. Are they affecting? Will anything change?
We are waiting, because you see, the problem is a recurring one. So till we see it, it's like at this point, is seeing is believing. If you don't see it, we don't believe it. So when it comes on and we begin to experience a better service on the part of the company and all that, we'll take it up from there.
All right. So airfares out of the roof, it's a matter of choice. But I hear air travel is the best way to go. You have a choice. All right. We go to our next story. You know that many unconscionable Nigerians, big and small, had looted the country's treasury dry over time is not in doubt. We may not know how much is involved, but President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed that Nigeria would never relent until he recovers all the $5 billion reportedly stolen by the late General Sani Abacha and stashed in Western countries. This is as he expressed delight in the news that some 72 artifacts known as the Benin Bronzes held by the Honeyman Museum in London were being returned. Now to President Buhari, the countless billions siphoned from the continent by corrupt former leaders must be repatriated. And we ask, what about the stolen wealth by living African heavyweights, Ibn Abo? We're talking about that.
Honestly, it is so unfortunate that we keep, talking about how some of our African leaders siphon money. Is it on a daily basis? And people are so impoverished. So much for infrastructure gap. And then we continue to talk about this every now and then. You see, until... there was a story I read somewhere, I think, was it in China, that a particular minister, whether he committed suicide or
yeah, recently.
Yes, because he was associated with corruption.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen here. That is why everybody just feels like, okay.
I hear that in Japan, you commit harakiri. In China, you are put to death. In Africa, you are given a title. I don't know.
You are hold on.
It's very unfortunate.
Some don't even like us talking about it, that Abacha is a thief or was a thief. They don't like it. You see anger in their faces. But the Yorubas will say, Oju Pipon will light a cigar. We will keep talking about it.
The red eye does not like the cigarette?
Yeah, it doesn't light a cigarette. So Abacha is the greatest looter to ever materialize in Nigeria. And President Buhari knows that his government has benefited a lot from Abacha loot. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the second Niger Bridge, even the Abuja-Kano Expressway that they have reconstructed, They are
recovered loot.
Yes, they are using the recovered Abacha loot, especially for, spending it, and then some money through from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. They are using such monies to build those roads, because Fashola's budget in a year cannot even finish one of those roads.
Yeah.
And There's no way you will now say, you as Minister of Works, you want to spend your entire budget for road infrastructure on one road. That's when you start hearing people from other parts of the country saying, what's going on? Why have we been left behind and all that? So thanks to the Abacha loot that keeps coming. See, in 1998, we received $750 million from the Abacha family. In year 2000, $64 million was received from Switzerland, Abacha loot. In 2002, $1.2 billion dollars was recovered. In 2013, we received money in two tranches, 160 million and another 88 million from Jersey Islands and Switzerland, respectively. In 2005, it was $461.3 million that we received from Switzerland. In 2006, we received 44.1 million, again from Switzerland. In 2014, we received $227 million from Liechtenstein. In 2018, it was 322 million that we received from Switzerland as Abacha loot. One person, one individual. In 2020, we received 311.7 million from the USA. Dollars. All this money are denominated in dollars. From the USA. Then the government has announced that we just signed another agreement for another $23 million to be sent to us as Abacha loot. We have received more than $3.65 billion
Yes.
as Abacha loot.
Over time.
Yes. So anytime it appears that we are broke, somehow, Providence makes sure that what Abacha stole comes to our country. That's why the president was even saying that he was forced to take the UK National Crime Agency to court because the president wanted the process of receiving the Abacha loot to be fast-tracked. Because a country that is looking for money, look at the budget. We are projecting 9.7 trillion as revenue. And it's a budget a little about 20.15,
yeah.
So where is the money going to come from? That means we plan to borrow money. So if Abacha loot can just materialize on the scene, we will be happy. We will be happy.
$5 billion.
3.65 billion.
Even about,
I remember we signed a deal with the family to release some money to them during the Obasanjo years. We signed that deal. That we are not counting that one, though.
Well, even about, you remember former British Prime Minister David Cameron said openly, you know, I think at Chatham House, the amount of money stolen from Nigeria in 30 years, if it happened to Britain, Britain would have gone down under.
Exactly.
But we're still standing.
Sometimes I wonder, because we are still here. Thanks to, you know, prowess in borrowing. We know how to borrow. And it is very unfortunate because it is affecting the economy so terribly. Now, like Babajide said, 3.65 billion had been, you know, recovered from, from the loot. And we are still waiting for 1.something billion. That's a lot of money. So, you see, when Babajide said that people, when we talk about Abacha's loot, and some people feel very unhappy about it.
Hero, so they don't
How do you feel unhappy when such a humongous amount of money was looted by one human being?
But you know, we have this penchant for not punishing bad behavior. You know, over time, so it's become a way of life.
It is one of our problems because there is no form of deterrent in place.
Yes.
And it is unfortunate because we keep talking about these things. I tell you, by next year, when we have a new government, we'll begin to hear stories. Because all these ministers, even before then, we already heard about the Accountant General and how much he stole. So it's unfortunate.
It's a new generation of Abacha.
We talk about strengthening the institution, but we shouldn't forget that this institution, it's not something in the sky. Human beings are behind this institution.
I remember Nigeria of yore. If the news broke that a certain gentleman stole X number of millions, and trying to interpret the millions in your native language, we will send the man listening to you nuts and so on. Now we are talking about $5 billion taken by one man.
Yes, you know, because it was a military regime.
Anything was
some
possible.
Of the things that ordinarily you must subject to scrutiny. If you try to do that, especially with a man who did not brook nonsense, you could be paying with your life. So nobody can steal this kind of money. We are talking about billions of dollars. We are not even that buoyant anymore. Because a country, I remember the VP writing in the Assembly, the Senate, because we wanted to borrow 1.5 billion US dollars. So it shows the level to which we have sunk. How much is that?
And the man who listens to us, who does not know the dynamics, will not understand that if we lived properly, Jide and Ibn Abba, if we live properly, nobody needs to steal. There's so much money in this country.
No, you know, let me tell you what one big man in Nigeria, he was locked up in prison. He said nobody needs to steal. If you are a big man, you risen to a certain level, you don't need to steal. That even the gifts from people, the gifts from people, he said sometimes he will not even remember who he helped. They will come and pack a brand new car.
I've been keeping Dr. Abdul in Taraba waiting. Dr. Abdul, good evening to you. Welcome. Oh dear, I'm sorry about that. Lost the connection to him. Yeah.
You know, that you don't need to steal. That you help people. You have even forgotten that you help them. Some of them will come and pack a brand new car.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it was like that. That people don't need to steal. For example, people in government.
Yes.
They have access to free food, though.
Owning between them over 300 plots. And nothing has happened.
Yes. And one had more than 800 exotic cars parked in the yard.
You think it's a
director?
Oh, and
just, we don't punish
primitive acquisition.
At the end of the day, what we do, maybe this accountant general now, we just hear that they've done, they've negotiated with him to return some of what he stole, and then he can return home, you know, to live in peace.
Let's go to our next story. That one don't do. Okay, you know, to our next story. The debate about cutting governance costs in our country is not just an interminable one, but seemingly elusive. If you remember, the Oronsai Committee set up by the Goodluck Jonathan government submitted its 800-page report on April 16, 2012. The current administration set up the Ebele Okeke panel to review, amongst other things, the Steve Oronsai report. Consequent upon the foregoing, the House of Reps has commenced the process of scrapping and merging MDAs vis-a-vis the duplication of functions with a view to reducing the cost of governance. At its inaugural hearing on Tuesday, the DG of the National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC, Otumba Segun Roshewe, called for more power to regulate reality shows like the Big Brother Nigeria, BBN, which he considers not in tandem with our custom. Ibn Abba, this is bound to step on toes, big and small.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we have to do the needful because we can't continue like this. Like if you look at some of these agencies, you know, yes, it's about reducing cost of governance. Then again, there are some intervening agencies that have been there. They have almost lost their values and the reasons for which they were, you know, created. They should be excused. But at the end of the day, you look at it on a second note and ask yourself, these people, you are sending them back into the labor market. How do they survive in a country where we just talked about paucity of funds? So we are really in a dire strait, and it's difficult. But then we need to.
Mrs. Obama, Michelle, said, if you don't do certain things for fear of what might happen, you'll be in a bigger mess. You started well. This is the time to go back there. So many MDAs are duplicating functions and so on.
See, I just hope that the incoming administration will have the political will to implement your own report. You don't give people a job to do, and they committed their blood and sweat to the job only for you to allow the report to be gathering dust. It makes no sense. And whether we like it or not, we will come back and do this thing, because the cost of governance is so high. People are thinking of creating bureaucracies all the time. National Commission for so, all kinds of that we don't need. For example, I've said it before, I don't care whether people get angry. We have anti-corruption agencies. Yeah. Is it not possible for us, instead of having NFIU, ICPC, EFCC, and the rest of them, even the police within the SFU, is it not possible for us to merge them together? Yeah. There are some ministries where you have maybe about, to use this as an illustration, maybe 10 cars, and you are keeping 25 drivers. So some of them will just be lounging every day. We are carrying so much dead weight, and that's why we are in this mess.
The governor of Kaduna State, Jide, if you remember, told us it is possible. Yes. We got to a particular office, saw 14 cars, only 7 drivers.
True. Is it right?
What is right now to do is to go on a commercial break. We'll be back. That's what they are telling me. So we'll go on this break and come back. Please don't go away just yet.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccines-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122.
This message is from NPHCDA in partnership with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Behind every high-performing organization is a clear strategy, an efficient process, and a productive team. At Crosstie Solutions, we strongly believe that every organization deserves a spot at the top, and that is why we focus on improving business performance through its people, process, and strategy. The core of our solution is centered around people development and management consulting. Since our inception in 2013, we've worked with over 40 organizations and have trained well over 4,500 employees within the government agencies, FMCG, oil and gas, media, banking, financial services, and education. Let's work with you today to improve your business performance. To book a free consultation with us, please visit www.crosstiesolutions.com or call 091 609 01017.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord?
Yes, Nami.
Oga landlord, me go need 1 room for this your house, so.
Okay, sure you get work where you do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You don't go they owe me be that now.
Now how much be your rent, safe?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this guy, where you come from, Seth?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata, no talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people no dey ever join.
Oga, wetin happen na?
Come out for my compound. Na so baba thing na people sabi do for that Akamata. Come out for here.
Haba, Papa, wetin this innocent girl do you now? Now people like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa.
I think you don't see am now. My people they talk say jollof rice wey dey for bottom pot today go dey top of cooler tomorrow. As I take need you now, so you self need me. Because now one mama we get we dey Nigeria. Make we love ourselves because now only together we go fit make our country better for us and our children them. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development CDD with support from the UK government, they bring in this message.
Okay, welcome back. If you have not forgotten, we're talking about the Steve Oronsai report on the merging of federal government agencies, the departments, and what have you. Ibenabo, we're talking about managing waste, and we've been managing it for years, and it's becoming a way of life. But we are saying there must be an end to it. So why was the Oronsai report or panel set up, and why it turned in the report and we are not doing anything with it, as Jide said?
Like I said earlier, everything is becoming like a recurring decimal. Remember, let me digress now, when ASUU and the federal government and different panels were set up and they would bring up their reports and none of them was put to use. So it's becoming like a pattern. And it's unfortunate because you spend money to bring these people together.
We say our country,
them allowances.
Yes.
We say our country has constitutional problems. Even upon we have had 10 conferences, constitutional conferences, and 10 constitutional conferences reports. We have done nothing with them.
It's beginning to look like it's our character, and it's a bad one.
Even the confab organized by Jonathan, if you read the report, there are still a number of things there that if we would implement would be beneficial to our country. Even the idea of school feeding was part of the recommendations of the confab, this last confab. And there are still so many things that they can look at, but we just brush it aside. How about APC? APC came up with the promised restructuring, and there was a panel headed by the Kaduna State government.
Yeah,
if you remember.
But turned in a report.
What has been done? We have a history of commissioning people to do reports that we will not implement. I think that I want to commend the House of Reps Speaker, because they are the ones who appropriate money to these agencies, to these ministries and departments. They know that the funds are not there. They know that some of these agencies, they're only duplicating functions, functions that others are already playing. And people are creating commissions, agencies and all that just to be able to put their people there and give them employment. At the end of the day, the cost of running government is soaring high, and we have no means of even paying regularly. Look at our bill, the debts that we are owing the CBN, because we keep going to CBN to borrow money to pay salaries. Even the World Bank has warned us that it has to stop. It's because the cost of running our bureaucracy is just too high. An individual is going to look at a governor with about 20 cars on his convoy.
Fueled from
a lot of them SUVs. National Assembly members come into office, they give them brand new SUVs. Another set will come, they will give them. Another set will come, they will take a housing allowance. When we are supposed to have a place where we keep them, like we had 1004 in those days, lawmakers, this is where you live. So by the time another set goes, other people, but we just keep giving them money. We are behaving as if we are so rich as a country, but The facts are there. Even this budget, what is the size of our budget? Look at the size of our budget. Look at the size of Angola's budget. Look at the size of Egypt's budget.
Sorry, I don't want to keep Aladi in Lagos waiting. He has joined us. Good evening to you. Yeah, Aladi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, let's go.
I can hear you. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, please, I want to just ask a question. Just imagine, before APC come into this government, they have already known all these problems that we have like all these two parastatals that are supposed to be one.
Mm.
I expect them to just start from where they're supposed to start from. Remove those ones that are supposed to remove. Match those people. I don't see what we have ISPC and then EFCC and all that. It's supposed to be one. Honestly speaking.
Well, it's a choice. These things, whatever happens to us, will be by choice. We have elected to be that way.
Our problems are man-made.
Yes.
They're man-made.
I was even thinking while Babajide was speaking. Now, the House of Reps are looking into this. How about starting from themselves? The cost of running the National Assembly is so high. How about cutting it into half? They buy new cars, they change these cars as often as possible. Some of them go for plenary and we see
them hefty allowances.
They doze off. So them doze off.
If you ask me now, who I won't ask.
So they should start with themselves.
The salaries
Some don't
are
even
fixed.
go there. Don't go.
So they should start
The
with themselves.
salaries are fixed by the RMF, whatever.
It's not the salary that is the salary is small. It's the allowances.
Yeah, the
the devil is in the allowances because you don't know. Those allowances are treated more or less like a matter of cultism.
You can't really put a figure to it.
I remember somebody being interviewed on live TV and they said, okay, can you tell us your salary? Everybody knows the salary of the US president. Can you tell us your salary? They wanted the lawmaker to mention his salary. He refused. He refused.
A federal lawmaker once showed me his pay slip, basic salary. But I said, but what about the allowances?
It won't show you that one. So it is those ones that are fixed by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal. So those ones are fixed. And when you look at what goes to them, you are not going to say this is too much. But the allowances, you do not know. And remember when the president was trying to suggest some of what they are doing to TSA, of course they rose and said, no way. It's not going to happen. So
okay.
So it's a case of physician and heal thyself.
Yes.
The debate will continue. Our job is to lay it on you and give you the facts available to us. All right, to our next story. You know, the Court of Appeal earlier on, like a Daniel come to judgment, delivered a ruling on the application by the ASUU, which sought permission to appeal the order of the National Industrial Court. But in an apparent reversal of attitude, the federal government has earmarked a sum of 470 billion naira in the 2023 budget for university revitalization, which is one of ASUU's demands. Now, this is a fallout of the 20.15 trillion naira 2023 budget estimates presented to the joint session of the National Assembly by Mr. President. He renewed his plea to the striking university teachers to return to work but find alternative means of funding rather than rely on government budget. Is this too little or too late?
I think that is significant. They had made, the government had tried to tell them, look, this demand, we can meet some of these demands in the budget. They suggested 150 billion. ASUU said no. Because if we are talking about 1.2 trillion, and you are talking about 150 billion, there's still a long way to go. But I believe that given that this administration had even paid a little out of this 1.2 trillion before, and the Jonathan administration too also made some payment.
Yeah.
We are getting closer and closer. I don't even expect that all of the 1.2 trillion should be paid at once. Yeah, I mean, it's infrastructure development that you want to see. You want to see infrastructure freshened up. That would take time. Constant freshening up of infrastructure in universities could take even up to 10 years. So I believe that 470 billion, if
can go some way,
it will go a long way if they make good their promise to release the money in the first quarter. It just, in my view, ASUU just needs to trust the government, but the government did not acquit itself properly. That's why ASUU has not trusted them all these years, because if you get into a memorandum of action with people, and as a result of that, they decided to end their strike, and all of those issues, many months after, you have not addressed even one, then you are telling them that you can't be trusted. You did the same thing to the health workers, to NMA, and they too decided to go on strike.
Yeah.
You know? But invariably, they resolved this issue. So I think that 470 billion is a good step in the right direction, given that, and it also shows that to a large extent, the government also listens, because they proposed 150 billion before now, and ASUU rejected it. Now they've gone to 470 in the budget, because where else do you expect them? You don't expect us to go and take a loan to do this. So they put it in the budget. And what we expect to see is that in future, even in future budgets, incrementally, we'll be releasing this money until we are now, we've successfully cleared that indebtedness. So I think President Buhari has done the right thing by earmarking this kind of money in his last budget.
Yeah.
Implementation and release of money, the money is also key.
Yeah.
Government will sometimes make a promise, and to release the money becomes so difficult. These are the things that they don't want. They want to see concrete guarantees that, yes, you make this promise and you are going to implement. So there are still other demands. The government must still find a way, but I will encourage ASUU to even receive, I mean, to accept this as a token of government's good intention.
Yeah.
You know, so government is a continuum. When another government comes, hopefully it will even respond to ASUU's problems better than this government has responded to it.
Because a new government wants to make a top impression.
Yes.
All right, I hear we must go on another commercial break. We'll be back. Please don't go away.
Are you a farmer in need of financial support? Join the Best Seedlink Agric Support Program today and get up to 70% input advance. For more information, please call us on 090-5555-9856 or visit our website at www.bestseedlink.com. Best Seedlink. Succeeding together.
For more than 20 years, Betty, the Lagos Economic Summit, has contributed to the socio-economic and infrastructural development in Lagos State back to back. Some of the ideas from the previous Enyigbeti are what we now point to as the attractions of Lagos to the world. Here is another opportunity to discuss the advancement agenda of Lagos. Enyigbeti, the private sector-led participatory forum and incubating ground for the ideas that define Lagos, is holding from October 11th to 12th, 2022. Are you a business leader, a professional, an entrepreneur, an academic, a techie, or in any other category with Lagos on your mind? Register at www.enyigbetisummit.com to attend the summit holding at Eko Hotels and Suites, or to join Enyigbeti 2022 Summit online. Come forward with your thoughts. Let's set an implementable agenda for a greater Lagos.
Showing up in style inspires great confidence. IVM G5T appeals to class.
Time is of the essence. With IVM Kappa, business and meetings are always on the go.
Fun time with the family. Thank you to IVM Kingdom. IVM Kara is always stealing the show. Isn't she beautiful? Influence defines a great leader. IVM Seriki is Africa's commute king. Strong, reliable, and durable. With the concept of regionalization, Innocent Vehicle is committed to satisfying its customers with producing their everyday dream cars.
IVM, pride of African road.
All right, welcome back. The happy news is that federal government, or Mr. President, has announced a 470 billion naira money that should go to the ASUU in 2023 budget. Even above what the suspicion Jide talked about is a two-way street. ASUU suspects government, government suspects ASUU.
But I want to be very sincere. Let me start like this. 39% is 470 of 1.2 trillion, which is, I mean, is substantial. If government will make, good their promise and everything. Then again, you can't blame ASUU, because do you know how many times government had promised and nothing happened? So you see, you don't just go to the table and pick up trust. You earn it. Because over the years, government lost its trust. Even some persons don't trust the government. When they say they're going to do this thing, you say, till I see it. So you can imagine the rigors of back and forth. This report will come up, nothing happens. Another committee will be set up. They will come up with their report, nothing happens. So you begin to have your doubts.
I've forgotten which great man said the best committee is a committee of one. In Nigeria, we have empaneled too many committees. And I hear that panel beaters were up in arms. They went there and said, none of their members is on the panel. They asked which panel. He said, panel beaters, and so on. So we are looking for anything that will beat panels and committees in this country.
We set up one to secure the release of the train passengers the other day. We set up a committee. We like setting up committees.
Because
the thing is,
we'll spend money.
But anyone who makes a promise is obligated to fulfill his promise. People who have honor, they know that their word is bond. They know that they have to honor their word. You can't encourage people to suspend their strike by making all kinds of promises that we are going to do this, that we are going to do this, that we are going to do this, and then
you renege.
Several months down the line, you see that there is no plan to do it. This was what pushed the doctors to go on strike. It's the same thing that pushed ASUU to go on strike. Now, I just hope that we'll be able to find a way to end this, because ASUU, after the court told them to first go and obey the...
Yeah.
You know, what ASUU is saying is, what some of the ASUU members are saying is, if a man is sentenced to death, will the court first tell him to go and obey that before coming back to appeal? You know, because in this case, there are many, I've seen governors sacked by the court, and they refused to leave their position. They waited until the final court, which is the Supreme Court, pronounced them. And in the end, they were able to keep their position. So if the governors had first vacated their positions before appealing, what would have happened? Now, what ASUU says they are going to meet, and that it is the decisions reached at the level of their state chapters and congresses that will determine their next line of action. But clearly, ASUU was dazed. They were not expecting
the court to
tell them to go and yes, they were thinking that okay, that the court will allow for that stay of execution, and then look at the substantive matter. But that's not what happened. Everyone is tired of this strike. I like the way the judge spoke yesterday. He told them, resolve this matter out of court. These children have stayed too long at home.
Yeah.
But it's like a fight between two headstrong individuals. And no one wants to yield any ground. This thing has become an ego thing between the two parties.
So we are saying the federal government appears to me to have won, what do you call it, a moral victory in this case. So it does not seem that the weight will be on ASUU to go to respond. But how do you react to Mr. President's admonition to ASUU to find alternative means?
Okay, at that point,
generating revenue.
Yes, I think
that should be to the university authorities.
Yes,
not us.
They should because as a university, you should generate funds internally, because I mean they have various projects, they have research institutes within the university. They should generate funds. But that the funds they generate within the universities should be used to run the university.
Fund. They won't even have structures, enough structures. What they should be doing is, if a state wants to set up a university, tell them that for the next 6 years or 7 years, you are not going to get any support from TED Fund. Because I've seen private state universities full of TED Fund buildings, you know? So why did you set up a university when you do not have the funds to even build structures in the university, to even pay salary regularly? Some of them can't. And you're all setting up universities all over the place.
Yeah.
University has now become a constituency project. What nonsense.
Yeah.
That is what they are doing all over the place. You can't fund them, you can't fund the existing ones, and every year you are opening up tons of state universities.
Look at the fees charged by public universities compared to the private universities. 20,000-30,000 naira for, say, a university with a student population of 60,000.
I know it's tough, but you see, it's not everyone who can even pay. A lot of our students, they don't go beyond secondary school because the parents can't pay. Some can't even pay WAEC fees. It's government that's helping them to pay. So the kind of money that private universities are taking from people, only about 5% of our population
can afford it.
Yeah. That's why we need the federal universities, the public universities to survive. If we go on in this way, gradually they will die. Okay,
I hear we must pack it up and go, but not before thanking Babatunde Kolade Uchitoju. I greet you.
I greet you.
No, Babajide, not Babatunde. I'm sorry about that. Hey, Binabo, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, that will just about do it for today. But if you missed a portion of this particular broadcast, join us at 11 later tonight. Don't forget the Sunday tonic for you, 2 hour long from 1:30 p.m. Hangout is also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now. Take care of yourself.
We love fried food, seasoned fried fish, French fries, but cooking fried food sometimes feels like going to war. Different cooking pans, hot oil spills, lots and lots of oil, meaning added calories, and cleaning is a disaster. Scraping, what a chore, but not anymore. Introducing the new ShopX Power Air Fryer with one-touch technology. The Power Air Fryer fries with superheated cyclonic air. With little to no oil and up to 80% less fat, it does the job of your grill, oven, and stovetop all in one neat, compact, and versatile device. The ShopX TV Power Air Fryer has 7 quick-touch presets. Press for fries, press for chicken, press to roast, or press to bake. Just set it and walk away for perfect French fries in 10 minutes. Delicious fried chicken, 7 minutes. Tasty roasted bolly in 15 minutes. Crispy golden chicken, 20 minutes. Mixed spring rolls and samosa in just a few minutes. It's amazing. The secret is rapid hot air technology. This superheated cyclonic air flows around your food quickly, creating a golden brown crispy outside while locking the moisture inside. It's so simple to use. ShopX Power Air Fryer offers an all-in-one alternative to 5 different cooking methods. Air fry your food, grill juicy chicken, and roast delicious bolly, bake delicious cakes and desserts. Saute onions and peppers and roast the whole chicken that is so juicy on the inside. Look, about 15% of oil is absorbed into chips when frying, but with the ShopX TV Power Air Fryer, only 0.0025% of oil is absorbed. Plus, the air fry basket has specially designed vents for all that fat and grease to drain away into the container below. And your Power Air Fry basket cleans with ease. Discover how quickly and easily you can cook with a 5-in-1 ShopX Power Air Fryer. It's cleaner and healthier than traditional deep fry methods and will transform the cooking experience for the entire family. Incredible.
With over 1 million units sold worldwide, the ShopX Power Air Fryer is taking the industry by storm and is now available in Nigeria exclusively from ShopX TV. Call the number on the screen now or visit our website at shopxtv.com and get the ShopX Power Air Fryer for just 69,950 naira. And that's not all. Call now and we will also deliver the ShopX Power Air Fryer to your door with no delivery charge. But hurry, this exclusive ShopX TV offer is for a limited period only. So call now while stocks last. Let's get cooking.
What are you waiting for, guys? I want you to call the number on the screen or visit our website at www.shopxtv.com to get your own Power XL air fryer. Trust me, guys, you will totally enjoy it. It's solely by ShopX TV.
Yes, we don't want to hear no stories.
No
Buy
stories.
solely from ShopX TV. ShopX TV.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.
The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
So, all in favor say aye. Those against no, the ayes have it.
What do you know about the legislature, its role in governance, and as one of the three arms of government? Lagos Parliament is here to bring it to you as it is. Here to bring you every detail you need to know about the legislature in Africa's most populous city. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary legislature.
Hello, welcome to TVC News. We begin in the nation's capital, where President Muhammadu Buhari has presented a record 2023 budget of 20.51 trillion naira to the National Assembly. This is the last budget to be passed by the president before the end of his tenure next year. Before the president's speech, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, commended President Buhari for being consistent in presenting the budget in the last 3 years. He also urged that the 2023 budget should focus on completing infrastructure already started. In his address, President Buhari assured that his administration is committed to ensuring lives and properties of citizens are safe. He also appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities to call off the strike, as government alone cannot fund education.
The eighth and final budget presentation by President Muhammadu Buhari as his administration winds down in another 7 months. The president of the 3 years, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila acknowledged the trouble with the nation's economy arising from dearth of revenue. But the massive stealing of crude, which has impacted negatively on the nation's economy, leaves much to be desired. They insist crude thieves are enemies of the country and should be treated as such.
The thieves have declared war on our country and our people. I strongly feel that we need to take the necessary measures to stop the thieves immediately. Otherwise, our economy will be completely devastated. Also, our efforts to provide the necessary infrastructure and diversification of the economy would both be thwarted. It is time to take drastic and desperate measures against the thieves.
It is the sense of the House of Representatives that those engaged in these activities are agents of economic sabotage, determined to bring our country to its knees. Therefore, our position is that their actions constitute treason against our country, for which they and their enablers, whoever they may be, must be held accountable to the fullest extent permitted by law.
For 55 minutes, President Muhammadu Buhari takes a prospective look at the efforts of his government at reshaping the country with the current budget, as well as projections for the coming year. Transformational investments in infrastructure tops the list of his administration's achievements. The president says a challenging global economy, high inflation, high crude oil prices, and Russia-Ukraine war have contributed to the nation's troubled economy. Nevertheless, he says government is determined to shore up its revenue from taxation and the internally generated revenues of MDAs.
Our interventions and reflationary measures have been very effective and impactful. We must, however, continue to work towards achieving much higher levels of growth, especially given our high population growth rate, so that the average Nigerian can truly feel the impact of planned economic growth.
The parameters for the proposed budget include oil price benchmark of $70 per barrel of crude,